Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and it's finals kicking off in Gawler and District softball this weekend. Not for the juniors, they've still got another week before their finals start, but the senior finals are starting. Association President Sarah McMillan is on the line with me to preview some exciting finals. Hi Sarah, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you going? It's a great afternoon.
Very well, thank you. It is. It's nice and hot, and I'm sure it'll be hot on the out on the diamond this weekend. Are there any hot weather policies in place for tomorrow?
We do have a hot weather policy, but it doesn't kick in until 7 a.m, so we have to wait until then. If it's forecast for 40, we do call the games off, so it's all very complicated from here on in. You never know. It might drop down a couple of degrees, and fingers crossed we get some games in this weekend.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because there is a heat wave forecast. It's going to get very, very hot in Gawler and surrounding areas, so we'll see what happens. But let's just pretend we're going to get games in, because that is certainly what we're hoping for. But first big weekend on the weekend just gone in the Div 1s, Kangas and Vikings both getting wins. Kangas over 2 Wells and Vikings over Blue Jays. Close one there with the Vikings winning 7-5.
Yes, it was a very close game and very intense game. It was a couple of runs coming in early and then followed straight up with the next couple of runs from the other side. But just straight softball, but sort of textbook, and just with that little bit of intensity to get them through to get the win for 7-5.
And it is finals kicking off in the Div 1s, and everyone's playing finals. All 4 teams are in. So we've got Kangas taking on Blue Jays. So the top 2 teams pretty much all year will be facing off. Now, with all 4 teams playing finals, 1v2 and 3v4, I assume the winner of this one is straight into the grand final.
Yes, that's correct. Straight in. Get yourself the week off and have a bit of a relax. So it'll be a fairly intense game, I believe, and I feel they play very different softball, both teams. It's kept them up there. I'm not sure how they separate each other, but they feel a very different game from both sides. And I could not pick who's going to win this game. And as you know, finals are always a different game. Finals are always very different.
They certainly are. Yeah, and Kangas and Blue Jays have had a tight contest this year. They had a draw in their first game. They had a draw in their last game as well. And Blue Jays had a 3-run win, Kangas a 6-run win, and Kangas a 1-run win. So they've had some really good games this year. And this is definitely shaping up to be another one. So in the other game, it's the Vikings taking on 2 Wells. 2 Wells have found form at the right time of the season. Any chance of the upset here?
There is a big possibility. We're on the way up, starting to get clean softball in and sort of working out each team, and we're sort of starting to get with the flow and taking things on. I feel Vikings are doing the same. I'm just that's my bias. And, I think we're definitely in with a good chance of taking out Vikings this week.
All right, well, there it is, Div 1 finals kicking off this weekend. Very exciting, and it's the same deal in the Div 2s, and in the last round of the season there, the Kangas had a very big win, 13-3 over the Giants to take some confidence into finals, and the Blue Jays had a win as well over 2 Wells, 14-8, high-scoring game in that one.
Yes, it wasn't so tight as it could have been in that second game. But first game, a bit of an upset, really. I would have thought that'd be a lot closer game than with Kangas and Giants. But, a little bit of an upset. But I think they're going into this week playing against the same sides. So we'll see how they go in the finals rather than a standard minor round game.
All right, and in the finals this weekend, we've got the Giants taking on the Blue Jays in the 3v4 elimination final, and this one should be interesting. They've only played twice this year. Once was pretty recently in February, and the Giants won 9-5, but before that, all the way back in November, the Giants won 17-4, so the Blue Jays have obviously closed that gap a little bit since November, and no doubt they've improved out of sight since then, but haven't had a win this year over the Giants yet.
No, Giants have been a pretty strong team in Div 2 this year, and Blue Jays, I think they've finally sort of got their team together and sorted out, so they know who's playing where, and it took a while to sort of settle into a solid team, so it could go either way, but I'm feeling my gut instinct is Giants could make a close win over these guys, but it should be a good game.
Okay, and Kangas Vikings in the other semi-final, and this one should be a great game as well. Kangas won 9-8 when they met in November, and Vikings won 9-6 more recently in February. So they've split the season series, and yeah, it looks like there's not much separating these two teams, and no doubt the winner will be very, very eager to get that week off.
Yes, I think they are both eager to get the weekend off. But both teams, I think they play very similar games. And I think it'll be very hard to choose them because they both bring out the big guns for that particular game. I think they're number one rivals in Div 1 and Div 2. So, yeah, it'll be very, very interesting on who's going to make it over the line.
Alrighty, and in the under-17s this weekend, we're not quite up to finals in the juniors yet. So with the juniors running a little bit longer for the regular season, is their finals series a little bit shorter? Do they just have a top two playoff for a grand final?
It is. It's the 2 versus 3 next week to play off one for the grand final in the final week. Yeah,
okay,
just
so
2 weeks.
Week off for finishing top.
Yes, yes.
All right, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but like I said, we've still got one more round to get through, and this weekend it is Trinity College taking on the Giants.
Yes, that should be an interesting game. It's like that, they pull out a different game every week. It's like a bit of a surprise to see what's going to happen during the game because, yeah, they seem to be stronger in different ways each week and pull out all the stops for their batting. They're batting some weeks, and then other weeks it's the fielding that looks just spectacular. And it's always a great game to watch when they're just growing so fast, so quickly.
Okay, and it's the same matchup in the under-14s, Giants versus Trinity College, and Giants have been very, very difficult to beat this year, and they've had 3 big wins over Trinity College, 11-3, 7-0, 7-1, but then last time they met only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was actually 4-4, so Trinity improving as the season has gone on. Can they end their season on a high here?
It's a possibility. I think that the Giants have sort of got a very similar age group through their team and they all seem to meld pretty quickly. And Trinity have got their bigger age range, but as the season goes on, their teams start to tick together and you never know what could happen at the end of it.
Huge weekend ahead in Gawler and District Softball. Finals starting for seniors, not just yet for juniors, but certainly at the business end of the season. Good luck to everyone playing this weekend. If the hot weather policy doesn't quite kick in and games are going ahead, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Be responsible. Get those Stanley Cups or Frank Green or Camelback drink bottles full of icy water. Get your hat and sunscreen ready. Protect yourself against that extreme heat and dehydration. Sarah, thanks for the chat as always. Looking forward to doing it again next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. We're going to start drinking our water right now, everybody. Make sure you start drinking and be prepared for the long, warm weekend. Thank you.